Some students will ask, which ACCA paper should I take as the first exam? Right, ACCA final 4 paper is called strategic professional paper, and we have 2 essential paper and 4 optional paper that students need to choose 2 of them. So students will be making a choice which paper among the essential and among the optional paper should I go for first as the first exam, right? So our general advice is you go for the paper that you are most confident with. When you are confident with the paper, then you have a higher chance. I'm not saying that you will definitely pass, but you have a higher chance to study harder and to pass the exam. So once you pass the exam, you have the momentum to continue to go for the other paper, right? You have the momentum, you have the motivation to continue this professional qualification. So that is our general advice. You should go for the paper which with the most confidence that you have on the paper. But some students will say, I am not too sure which paper I'm the most confident with. So then you will need to consider a few things. Some students, they will go for essential paper first, because essential paper, no matter how you have to take it. So for the 2 essential paper, SBL and SBR, no matter whether I'm taking it now or later, I need to take it. So why don't I just KO it first, right? So some students, they will say, I go for essential paper first because I would like to just pass the paper first, just get the paper done first, then only I go for the optional paper where I can really sit down and think, and based on my experience, based on my knowledge, to choose which optional paper should I go for, right? So that is one way you can think about it. However, there's a risk of doing so. The reason being, SBL paper, especially for SBL, I would say both essential are the same, but especially for SBL paper, the paper is an integrated paper. It means you will need knowledge from various fields to actually help you to answer the questions in SBL. So if you go for SBL as the first paper, especially when you are in the accelerate program offered by ACCA, where you can actually study the last 4 papers during your degree, when you do not have much knowledge from other fields or other areas, like for example, you are still currently learning the fundamentals of management accounting, learning about finance, learning about audit, learning about financial reporting and others, including taxation as well, then you may not have well-equipped knowledge to actually answer your SBL questions, because your SBL questions is more on integrated knowledge. You got to apply your knowledge not from an isolated areas, but you have to integrate all your knowledge to provide business solutions to the business problem. So there is a risk if, let's say, you go for SBL as the first paper, then you got to really put in hard work and study a lot of syllabus before you can actually take the exam. But having said that, I also have students who took SBL as the first paper and they passed in the first exam, in the first attempt. So there's no certainty, there's no guarantee, and there is no hard rule or fixed rule to go for it. If you still would like to go for SBL as the first paper because you think you are the most confident, you have the most confidence in this paper, and also you think this paper is very flexible and it actually suits your study style, so you would like to go for it for the first paper, it doesn't matter as well, right? Another direction that students will think of is they would like to go for optional paper first. Why is that so? Is because especially for students who will be taking the 4 papers together with their degree, so-called bachelor degree studies, they will study the fundamentals subjects during their year 1 and year 2, and so after this, they will have quite well-equipped knowledge about the optional paper, quite well-equipped knowledge which is related to the optional paper that they want to go for. So upon they end their year 2 or when they enter year 3, they may choose the optional paper to continue studying because they have been studying the fundamental knowledge, and so now I enhance my knowledge to become an advanced level, and so I can go for the paper, I can go for the exam, right? So some students, they will think in this way. where it is quite a good strategy as well, I would say, because if you already study the fundamental while you are still having the fresh memory, while you are still while you still remember all the knowledge that you have just learned, why don't you just continue to go for the advanced level and just get the paper done, right? So that is also a good strategy. And that provided if you would like to go for this pathway, provided you are quite certain which optional paper you would like to go for. If let's say you have issue in choosing your optional paper, then you may want to take a step back and have a look at what are the options that you have, what are the choices that you have, and think carefully before you actually commit your time and effort into the optional paper, right? So both strategy will have pros and cons, and there's no right or wrong which one you go for. And there is also no right or wrong when you go for one essential paper and after that you change to optional paper, and after that you come back to essential paper. There's no hard rule on that as well. So you are free to make your choice. You can make your choice. You can arrange your sequence by yourself, and there is no fixed way of doing it. Right, so the most important thing is once you have made up your mind to go for the paper, put in your time and effort, be dedicated and be motivated to complete the paper, and then move on to the next one, right? Then you will be getting all the 4 paper done in relatively short time, in the time that you wish you can complete the papers. So I wish you all the best.